it's me, Anya Lily from Travelling Bartenders. I'm back with my campervan cocktail series. Today I'm pairing up with one of my favourite gins in the world, Elephant Gin. They are an amazing gin company that put some of their profits to elephant saving charities in Africa. It's also a delicious gin, and it's going to be perfect for the cocktail that I'm making today. So I am a forager and beekeeper as well as a bartender. I love foraging. My mum's a herbalist and it's been something that I've been doing since I was a little kid. And today I'm going to teach you how to make my Foragers Vermouth, and then I'm going to make a little kind of white Negroni with it. So first up for my Foragers Vermouth, of course, I'm going to need some wine. Vermouth is a fortified aromatized wine. So I've got a little jar, 450 ml of Gewürztraminer wine. It's quite sweet, which is going to lend nicely to extracting all the flavours and aromas from my flowers and herbs. The next thing that I'm going to put into my jar for the vermouth is mugwort. So vermouth in German, or vermouth, literally means wormwood. So wormwood or artemisia is a type of plant that can be found widely available in England, and it's growing abundantly at the moment. The wild variation is actually called mugwort. You can identify it by its silver underside. At the moment, it's just in this like really young, succulent kind of pre-flower stage. It's got a flavour and aroma sort of similar to sage, I'd say, like a kind of mild, really lush green sage flavour. So I'm going to put a few sprigs of my mugwort in first, just giving it a press between my fingers just to kind of express the oils and get some of that lovely mugwort flavour out. Mugwort is a really famous spiritual herb. It's been used for centuries to kind of induce lucid dreaming and says to have kind of prophetic qualities. So people used to believe that if you drank mugwort tea, then you could kind of like see the future. So it's one of those really cool ancient spiritual herbs. So I've got my mugwort in there. In fact, actually, Elephant Gin uses wormwood as one of their botanicals, along with some really cool African bush ingredients that have got lovely aromas and flavours. Next up, so I've just been foraging now, and what I found is this. So this is pineapple weed. The reason that it's called pineapple weed because it has this really beautiful, strong pineapple aroma, which lends super nicely to cocktails because we all love pineapples, and it kind of like adds like a slightly tropical note to the drink. It's so nice. I'm gonna be quite generous with my pineapple weed because I really love it. Another type of chamomile that I have found today is this. It's a Roman chamomile. You can tell by its feather-like leaves and its sort of like bulbous head, and when you open the head, it's got like a little gap in it, and you can tell that it's chamomile. Not only that, you can really tell by the smell. It's got that lovely sleepy chamomile tea smell to it. And then, after that, strangely enough, I actually found some lemon balm out whilst I was foraging today, which you don't usually find uncultivated. So I think it must have self-seeded by perhaps a seed flying from someone's garden into the field that I was foraging. But it's going to give a really nice citrusy note to my vermouth. And then, after that, I will go for some honeysuckle. So honeysuckle is just starting to flower in England at the moment. It's one of my favourite flowers to forage. It's usually out in my birthday time in July. It's actually a symbolism of love. So in ancient times they believed that if you planted honeysuckle outside a newly married couple's house, then it would give them kind of good love for the rest of their lives and their wedding. And the branches sort of intertwine, and that's supposed to represent the lover's love intertwining for eternity or something like that. Another thing which represents love is rose petals. So I've got a few different types of rose petals here. I've got some red roses from my garden, and then I've also got the petals of wild roses, which are also known as dog rose. So all the little wild roses that you see in the hedgerows, those are dog roses, and they have that name because it was believed that if you were to use dog rose as a medicine, it could cure a bite from a rabid dog. So that's an interesting one to know. And then I am going to pop in some meadowsweet. This is the queen of the meadow. It's a beautiful flower blossoming at the moment that's got an amazing smell of like kind of almondy, like that marzipan, sort of blossomy, nutty smell. And then I'm going to pop in some pink and white clover. Clover is known for being really great for, actually is really great for female hormones, so it's quite often drunk by women, and it's also really good for regulating the immune system, and it's also been used for coughs and things like that. Another really good thing for coughs and the immune system is actually oak leaves. So I'm going to pop in just one oak leaf into this vermouth. Oak leaf's also famous for its tannic qualities, so its tannins. So oak leaves supposedly were used before grapes in wine to create like a very tannin wine or tannin brew. So I'm just going to pop that in and get those extra tannins into the wine. And then finally I will put in a couple of lemon peels. Vermouth usually has, actually I'm just going to do one for this one. You will usually have orange and lemon peels, and I've already got my lemon balm in there, so I'll just go with one for this. And that's it for this one. The main ingredient is your mugwort. And then after that, you can just kind of go wild with the flowers and botanicals that you put in there. So what I'll do now with this lovely little jar is I will infuse it for 2 days. Either that, or you can put it in a hot water bath and it'll be ready within an hour, which is a really great thing to do. So you can just leave it in a dark place. The best thing to do with preserving flowers is to leave them in a dark place, whether you're drying them or infusing them into honey. Put them into a dark place, that'll keep the colour, it'll keep the fresh flavour of the flowers, and then, yeah, see it in 2 days. I made one a couple of days ago. That's this one here, so that I can show you guys how I make my white Negroni. And so now with the vermouth, I'm going to need to fortify it with some alcohol and also add some sugar to it so that it'll keep for longer. So what I'm going to do is add in a few spoons of some rose-infused honey that I made. Literally all it is rose petals and honey. So I'm going to do for the 450 ml of wine, about 4 bar spoons. I don't like to go too sweet with it. But for this Negroni, I'm just going to use the vermouth and the gin because I've already given this kind of perfect balance of bitter and sweet through the honey and through the mugwort in it. And then to fortify this, I'm not going to put too much gin, but just enough to help to stop the wine from spoiling. So I'm going to go for 15 ml. And then give that a little stir and strain it out through a coffee filter. In the camper van, I've actually just got a tissue in a funnel. Oh, it smells amazing, and the pink roses have really come out in the colour. Fabulous. And then whilst that strains out, I've got an ice cube here that I'll just take out a little bit of water from. Beautiful. And And I will be garnishing this Negroni with a lemon twist and a couple of little forage flowers. Just get rid of this guy. So, obviously usually we would do, oh, one last little thing is just once you've strained it out, just put in a tiny pinch of salt into the vermouth mix. Literally for 450 mils of wine, I wouldn't put much at all, just like half a pinch. Stir it up to dissolve the salt. Have a little taste in case maybe you prefer it sweeter. Oh my god, that tastes beautiful. And then I'm going to put in, so I've put the sweet and the bitter into this vermouth. So normally I would go for like 20-20-20 of Campari sweet vermouth and gin. But for this, I'm going to do, I've got a fairly small glass here. So I think I'm going to go for, I'm going to try and squeeze in 40 of my vermouth and 20 of the gin. Oh, it's such a beautiful colour. Should be able to fit it. Yes. Amazing. I'm so excited to try this. The flowers that we foraged this week are amazing. Okay. And then I'll give this little beauty a little stir. I like to keep it fairly strong and let it dilute as it goes, so just a quick stir for that. And then I'm going to express some lemon oils over the top of it, around the sides. It's always nice to have the lemon oils lingering on your fingers. And then I will garnish it with, what do I feel like? Maybe, oh, I've got this amazing shepherd's purse here, which is a little flower that has has heart-shaped leaves. It's so cute. So I think I'm just going to garnish it with that. Kind of keep it minimal and cute. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me for my campervan cocktail session with Elephant Gin today, and I'll see you next time.